Welcome to Discover Ramona, where we explore the people, places, and businesses that make it one of the best places to live. I'm your host, Valley, and I'm here with my co-host, Jan Ryan. Hi, Jan.
Hi, Valley.
How was your morning? How was your day so far?
It's great. So far, so good. It's a beautiful sunny day out there, so totally enjoying San Diego.
San Diego's the best, and I know Ramona's weather is so cool. You're still up in the mountains, so you still get good breezes. It gets warm, gets cold, you kind of get it all.
Yeah, it was 28 degrees this morning.
28. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so you like frost on your windows?
Yep.
That's so cool though, because it makes you feel like you're you're in San Diego, but you're kind of like away, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So tell us a little bit about how things are going for you for work and things like that.
Well, I have found what I wanted to bring up today, and I know you have some insight too since you're a lender, but a lot of people are asking me and calling me. I'm getting text messages, phone calls. What do we do? Our insurance company is dropping us, or our insurance company tripled the rate. So I know you're seeing the same thing when you're doing loans. Yeah. So in Ramona, I don't know if it's the same in the other areas, but it's mostly California Fair Plan unless you're in the middle of the town. So anyway,
Well, what I've seen though too is like you can get your insurance policy, and I'd say start early, right?
Exactly.
Don't wait till the last minute if you're buying a home to start shopping for policies. Start early because you're going to get a lot of no's before you get some yeses. You also want to compare plans and what they offer and what the premiums are, because they can be crazy. And then with the California Fair Plan, you can, a lot of people think they have to impound it, which pay it monthly, which can be expensive. But technically, it's by lenders' purposes, it's an elective policy. You don't have to have it to get a loan, but you do have to have it to be fully insured according to your insurance carrier. So I say keep it off of your mortgage payment, pay it yearly separately. You don't have to impound it with us. You can just keep your mortgage payment low to your regular insurance plan and pay California Fair Plan separate.
And that's good to know. I didn't realize that. And it's interesting because also I've had people say that maybe I'll just wait for the lender to pick it up, because then maybe their plan's cheaper. But I talked to a local insurance broker, which I recommend going to a local one in Ramona when you're looking for Ramona insurance. And she said if you do that, you're only insured for your loan amount.
Yeah, well, and it's not cheaper.
And then what happens if you have nothing? Yeah. So that's an interesting fact I wasn't aware of.
It is. It's a struggle, but I think working with professionals like yourself and getting some guidance, it's a challenge, but people are finding a way.
Yeah, and another thing which is really interesting is a lot of people think that it's a government program, but it's actually an association of the insurance companies that are licensed in California. So that's interesting. A lot of people don't want the California Fair Plan because they don't want to work with the government. Right. But it's not the government.
That's right. That's right.
So anyways, like you said, exactly, Valley, start early. Don't wait till the last minute, because it can take up to a month even to get your insurance.
They have to underwrite it. It's crazy. But, another challenge in California, but we found ways to do it. So you have a guest that you brought with you today. Who is it?
I do. I'm super excited. I have Jim Hickle. He is the president of the board of directors for the Ramona Municipal Water District, and he's done amazing things for the town.
All right, let's meet him. Hi, Jim. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. So, Jim Hickle, can you tell us your title and who you work for and what you do?
Currently, I'm the Director of Operations for a company called Solar Turbines. It's a Caterpillar company. And I work for CAT as well as a manufacturing subject matter expert on lean manufacturing. And so that's my job.
And Jan told us that you have an engineering background. Is that right?
I am. I'm a mechanical engineer. Went to San Diego State. Grew up in Lakeside and went to San Diego State. Graduated way back in 1993. Started working at Solar Turbines at that time, and even today I still serve as an advisor on the engineering board there.
Okay, and then you've changed kind of like the layout of how the water system and the water district works in Ramona, right?
It's just about members of the community stepping up and help provide leadership to the water board or with the water board to the water district and helping them. You always think of a typical government agency not always being the most interested in the constituents and serving them in customer service and transparency, and we felt that some local leadership could drive some of that better in the water district.
Yeah.
And so I decided to step up and instead of complain about it, do something about it, and actually went on the ballot and got elected. To the water board.
So prior to you stepping up and filling a huge role, and it sounds like made a huge impact on Ramona, what were some of the challenges that you saw that made you want to get involved?
I think that just that culture of customer service that you'd like to see in your elected representatives and the municipal services. Like water, it's also sewer, it's also our Parks and Rec. We run, so water, sewer, and Parks and Rec is operated, and at the time, fire and emergency services as well.
Okay.
So all four of those were run by the water district, and so getting that culture of community service and transparency. There was a lot of, the leadership structure at the time, and some of the leaders that were in the positions then. We just didn't seem that we had some of those values that we as constituents and members of the community really wanted, and so that was what we set out to bring to the district.
I like that. A local. You live in Ramona, I assume.
Yeah, we do. So 23 years.
You saw the need and you stepped in and filled that gap, and
not just me, but several of the board members. There's, I have. Director Lawler is on the board. He went to Ramona High School. Director Paiva has a small business. Director Hurst is a member. All of us live in Ramona. Jacob Zoria, Dr. Zoria, he has a small business in Ramona. All of us together, we're five of us, and we provide the policy and the leadership direction to the district.
It sounds like there's a lot of pride there. A lot of pride in your community, and
it is. It's really great to have people that are engaged in trying to represent not just the community members, but also businesses, helping them grow, helping some of the development that we need, some of the growth that we need. Helping us with cost structure. I'm an engineer. Jeff is an accountant. We have two small business owners. We have others that have previous experience. So having that experience on the board, technical, finance, business, all of that comes together in a really good
perfect blend.
It is a blend that helps provide our new general manager and some of the new staff the right direction for the community.
Well, Jan told us that you guys really have changed the layout of how Ramona functions, and so I'd like to hear a little bit about that.
Well, I wanted to add, Jim, too. I think one of the things I find amazing is your background with pipelines, and you travel the country or the world even.
Correct.
So that's huge for Ramona to have that expertise.
Yeah, there was one thing that when I decided to go for the board, they didn't have an engineer working in the board or as a board member. And in my background, I've worked with both power generation sets as well as compressors, pipelines, and manufacturing is my specialty. And so, bringing that technical side to the board and also, it increases the dialogue with the engineering staff that's in the district and provides better guidance. I think having that technical background is good, just as a finance person does with the accounting group.
Yeah, I think it's huge. It seems so similar to what the Water District does, only on a much bigger scale.
It is. I've had the opportunity to travel to, I spent 5 years in Russia and 2 years in China and developed manufacturing in many parts of the world, as well as San Diego. And it's been a great career. I enjoy it a lot. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and how fortunate we are to have you in Ramona and the Water District with that background.
Yeah.
And like many of the board members, it's having the leadership experience where many of us have led large groups and small groups, and having that experience on the board is really it's beneficial for the community.
So you have a personal touch with Jan. You were telling a little story, but before you came out, we were talking about getting insurance and how it's kind of a struggle in California to get insurance and getting fire coverage. But Jan had a fun story that she told me a little bit.
A little backstory. Well, Jim's our hero. He saved our house from burning and our cat. He got our cat for us. So I can't think of enough for that. That was amazing.
Yeah, that's a good story. It was just when many times we evacuate, and when I was growing up, one of the jobs I used to do is work for the Forest Service, and so I have a lot of equipment and to help with my pool and fight the fires. And over at Jan's house, I knew that the fire had gone through there, but there was still some active shrubberies that had caught on fire. And so just literally going there and taking buckets of water out of the pool and putting out the fire that was actually in the landscaping at that time was something we could do. And it was myself and we also found their cat, and her daughter and my daughter grew up together. And so her cat, we brought her home, and she stayed with us until they could get back on their feet.
Oh my gosh. Where you just came home and you realized your cat was still alive, and
so sweet.
The neighbor has
the sweetest.
Oh, for Tori especially, she was her cat, and so my oldest daughter Becca, she took care of the cat until Tori could take it back.
And that just goes back to the Ramona stories, right? The good people that live there. You didn't have to, but you went over there and saw a need and fulfilled it.
Same with some of my immediate neighbors as well during the previous fire. It's and you have to be safe. I don't recommend not evacuating to that, but I think that you have to be pragmatic and safe and prepared. And there are sometimes things you can do on your own. It doesn't mean you're going to be out there trying to fight a wildfire. Not
what you were doing.
Not what we were doing. But there was just an opportunity where some landscaping had re-flared up, and we had a chance to put it out and potentially save the house.
Thank you.
I wanted to know how long you've been a part of the water board in.
This is my third term.
So how long are?
It's 4 years apiece.
Okay.
So this November will be my 10th year.
Okay.
And you have a lot of things coming up. I know that you planned for money saving and a lot of ideas that the water district has come up with.
Yeah, we set, this board is very business savvy, and so we've set some very strategic goals for the general manager and the board, and some of those goals are growth in water sales. So we have an ad hoc committee that works on that. We're looking at providing water service to Verona Indian Reservation. So that will increase our water sales significantly. And they also have the ability to take some recycled water. So that is, we have excess recycled water that we currently just spray on the ground. So they can purchase that water, and that could be a win for our constituents as well, to have additional revenue that offsets some of the expenses for the district. And so serving Verona is one of our growth initiatives. We have a couple others on the back burner right now that we're working on. The Parks and Recreation, we've taken a more active role in the Parks and Recreation, and we have hired a director. We're kind of evolving from more of that small, all volunteerism, to having a little bit of a combo or hybrid, where we have volunteers, but we also have directors and hired folks and now we're putting together strategic plans for the parks that we have. We have 100 and, it's a very large park. I think it's over 100 acres. So, and we have the fair there. We have softball, baseball, soccer, even frisbee golf, and where there's a potential for a theater. There's a lot of opportunity for the park and the senior center there. So we've taken a much more active role in that, and that's been well received by the community.
Everybody's very excited about that. I keep hearing about that from a lot of people.
We put together a governance committee. The ad hoc and the general manager has just done a great job that ad hoc is Jeff Lawler and Jim Paiva. They've done a great job with Erica, our new general manager, to spearhead that.
I mean, you could easily sit back and know that this excess water is just being sprayed on the ground and leave it at that. But it's like you guys really care, right? And it comes from that good place of wanting to do better and turning that into funds where you guys can use it for other things.
Yeah, and we have to, as board members, and we're businessmen, and we understand that there has to be some growth in water sales. Since we have conserved so much water, because water has become, a rare commodity, and when we conserve that we still have fixed costs, and we have to offset those fixed costs with water sales. So if we conserve, if you're selling less and less and less and less, then your costs just continue to rise. So in order to offset some of those rises in costs, we need to try to find some growth. We need to find more revenue from water sales, because our system is designed for a massive amount, over 10,000 acre feet. Well, this last year we sold 3,700. So we have to find more water sales, and that's providing also a valuable service to some of our folks who maybe their well doesn't operate properly, or they need some. We have to look for those opportunities to provide some growth.
I was talking to Jim, and we were saying, I wish the rest of government worked like this.
Yeah.
I want to vote for Jim for president.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Can it be like that?
Yeah.
It should be like that.
It should be like that.
It should be like that.
So we were saying pay attention to what you're voting for and really do your homework.
Yeah, we do. Our general manager, Erica, is and one of the great things about her is she's very in tune with what's going on in the county of San Diego as well as the state. And so, and she's a Ramona resident. So, having those members, and our water operations manager is a Ramona resident, and our sewer operations director is a Ramona resident, longtime Ramona residents. They've raised their families here. Most of our employees really just so passionate about serving their community in the water district. I'd say, everybody that's there. Many of our new hires, we really emphasize, being local, because when you go to the grocery store and you see somebody from the water district, you should be very, proud of them and what they're doing for you, and that's the kind of a culture we want to drive.
I want to copy and paste your guys' team into every district around San Diego. Just click and paste, copy and paste.
Every government official.
How much more can you take on?
Right, exactly.
It is a good recipe. We have a great team, and a great board, a great staff, a great
great leader,
great water operations group, sewer operations, collections, finance. Everybody is pulling for the community, and that's really the secret sauce. It's just thinking about everything you're doing relative to, if you're a member of that community, how would you like to be served?
Right? That's exactly it.
That's it.
And I found one thing super helpful that you told me a while ago, but I don't know if others feel that way, but we're on well only in Ramona. And I know my husband stresses a lot about running out of water, but you were telling me about the aquifer in Ramona, and you made me feel so much better.
Yeah.
Many parts of the state have aquifers that are drained, and that's because most of their water is coming from the aquifer, or they're augmenting their purchased water with their local water supply. So we have elected not to have wells pull water from the groundwater that's in our aquifer, which is actually quite large, because we also have a lot of homes on wells, and so purchasing or trying to pull water out to serve when we have a pipeline that comes from the State Water Project or from Colorado, that can serve us just fine. We have more than enough capacity. So there's really no need for us to put in a local treatment, and that helps out our folks that we don't want to lower their water levels in their wells.
And there's one more thing, Jim, I'm just remembering that was fascinating. I think you were telling me that the water district paid to line the canal or something.
It's not our Ramona Water District, but the San Diego County Water Authority looked for diversification of water supply, because we were pretty tied to metropolitan water districts, so the Met, if you call it, Los Angeles as water provider, wholesaler. So what they did is they went out to Imperial Valley and said, hey, can we buy some water from the Imperial Water District? And the way that they did that and found the water was many of the canals that transport the water for the farmers in Imperial were unlined. And so they paid to line the canals, and so that avoided this seepage or the loss of water into the ground. So that allowed us in San Diego County to gain access to water from Imperial District. So that's something that the San Diego County Water Authority did, and that's who we purchase our local water from.
That's brilliant.
You never know. You would never know. You know.
No, there's a lot of things about. I mean, it's one of those things. The water and that you just. You know, that it's in the background. It costs a penny a gallon.
Yeah.
For us to sell, we sell water at about a penny a gallon, and you never know about it unless there's a problem.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just one of those things, like the sewer. You know, you never know of it. There's not a problem until it backs up.
Well, yeah, and I think your role is huge, right? Like, we don't even day to day think about the people that are behind the scenes doing the work that you're doing. I mean, we turn on our water and hope it works and it's clean and it's, you know, healthy, but there's so much more that goes into it. And the heart behind it, the intention behind it, I really appreciate.
The volunteerism. These were all board members, are all elected, but we're all volunteers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we do that just, you know, like my drive for this was just out of service to my community. Ramona raised my 3 daughters, and I want to give back.
That's awesome.
Unsung hero, plus all your board members. Thanks for...
Yes, all of them.
Well, Jim, thank you so much for being on the show and all that you do for Ramona. I mean, I agree. Unsung hero is a perfect.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate the appreciation, and it's for all of us. It takes all of us to work together, and I thank you for coming and letting us. You know, I encourage members of your viewers to get to know the Water District again. It's fresh. They're doing some really great things, and
you do, and you make it fascinating. Like she said, she told me it was fascinating, and I'm like, really? Okay, but it is.
Put you on the edge of your
it's
seat.
amazing. It is so cool, all the things that you guys do, and.
You don't think of when you turn on that tap. You just don't.
You don't think
about everything that's behind it, and there's a ton. But a lot of great people doing a lot of good work. So
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I hear a lot of good things.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right, Jim. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for watching Discover Ramona, where we explore the people, places, and businesses that make it the best place to live. We'll see you next time.